Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Superbike 22. We're going to be using the Honda, actually my custom Honda that I've used in the game. It's one of the ones you can customise yourself. I think it's the Nolan Honda, and I'm using it here in the brand new circuit, or at least for me, the San Juan Villicum circuit. Now, I looked at this track and I thought, bloody hell, what is that? I mean, it's intimidating, but I'm willing to give it a go. A few of you guys think it's a decent track and you've asked me to give it a try, so why not give it a chance here today? We're going to be learning it pretty much together for the very first time. I've done 1 or 2 laps at most, and that's about it. So my best lap, which was just a moment ago when I realised I should probably record the video, was a 1:38.136, which is certainly not going to set the world on fire. It was just basically a quick lap just to get used to things, and hopefully we can start producing some decent laps now. Quick reminder as well, if you are enjoying the content, be sure to hit the subscribe button because I'm pushing for 5,000 subscribers before Christmas and I would really appreciate your support. But getting to the action. So into turn 9 and turn 10, it's full of a tight, twisty section with chicanes galore. It's a tough section, but it's very enjoyable when getting it right. I did find that this track kind of suits me really well because it's not a track they have to go really powerful on the throttle. I'm very gentle when it comes to the throttle and the brakes, so this is a good sort of track for me. This could be worthwhile, certainly trying to do some world records in the future, but getting across the line for the first time, it's a 1:36.619, so not a bad lap time I guess, but judging by the leaderboards earlier, the other guys are a lot quicker. So I think we can dig down a bit more and hopefully get into the 1:35s. But now going into the left hand side for the difficult turn 3, another corner which is not really going full brake or full acceleration, quite a lot of lean angle for these particular corners, but not a lot of absolutely giving it throttle and giving it absolutely everything under the tank. So I quite like that, but as I go a little bit eager on the acceleration there, just a bit too eager on the throttle there, I'm finding that I need to upshift into second a little bit quicker. But we now go on to the long straight as we somehow invalidate the lap there just by touching the white line as we now go into the very difficult turn 6 and turn 7. I find turn 6 is fine, but then going into turn 7 I need to square it up a little bit and then bring it over rather than going in one continuous loop as if it was like a left-handed version of Qatar's turn 11 and 12 for example. But now into turn 8, running it a little bit deep into there, so unfortunately we certainly won't be improving the lap time, and I guess it doesn't matter anyway at this stage since we have invalidated the lap. But getting the feeling of the Honda again, really love the Honda. I am running the balance performance mode option on. This was actually a 85% performance with the custom team, so I thought I'd give it a chance. But we've run it deep now into the final corner. Gave me a bit of trouble turn 14 and 15 respectively, but this is also going to invalidate the next lap, which, yeah, fine, it's no big deal. We're just literally learning the circuit, so 2 laps in, 1 invalidation, and now invalidated the 3rd one already. Not a great start, but also at the same time, I'm beginning to get the feeling for the bike, getting the feeling for the track, and getting the feeling for the brakes again, because of course Superbike 22, it's different. The brakes are very different, and getting used to that is quite paramount if you want to do some decent lap times. Now I do understand that I'm running the SC1 and SC1 tyre. I'm going to change it over, I think, possibly to the D4 and the SCX, and maybe a bit of a combination. I think it was actually the D4 and the SC1, and then when we go to the pits later on, I'm going to change it to the SC1 and the SCX. But big straight now as we're going to try and avoid the outside of the circuit, braking quite firm as we get to the rumble strip to the right hand side there. Now braking very firm for the left-hander, squaring up the bike a little bit better there. Much improved. But I think we could do even better there by maybe swinging it a little bit wider and then bringing it in. So failing to upshift there into 5th causes a little bit of a scream from the Honda, but it's never a problem because the Honda in this game does sound really, really nice. I like the Honda a lot in this game. But now into turn 11, keeping it nice and tight to the apex. Small wheelie there. Could probably consider bumping up to anti-wheelie 4 or just being a little bit smoother on the acceleration. But now braking into 14, have we made the same mistake again? Kind of, but not as egregious. If we're not going across into the distance, then I'm pretty happy. We're still on board the motorcycle, the lap is still valid, and it's not invalidated the next one either. So onto the brakes we'll go. Then you've got to be braking roughly to where that shadow is. That's where I found was the best spot to be braking with the Honda. As we now go to the right-hand side, going a little bit wider this time to bring on the power. Going to have to line up the motorcycle and gently bring the brakes on and just gradually move the bike over to the left-hand side. Remember to be moving in earlier rather than later. If you move in too late, you're not going to make the corner, so you've got to be moving in earlier. Move that rider weight nice and early and prematurely before you get to the corner to get a better entry. So now coming out of turn 5, a much better exit there. Pretty much neck and neck with the Ghost, but you can see the difference on the straight once the throttle really got pulled back. I'm happy with the progress we're making so far. 10th of a second head of the previous Ghost, but now firm on the brakes, but keeping it in nice and tight. Going, I could have gone a little bit wider there. Should have gone a little bit straighter towards the rumble strip on the right-hand side, line the bike up, square it off, and then launch it in to the left-hand side. Kind of neglected to do that time around. But now into turn 8, a corner I quite like actually. I don't seem to be getting it right, but I like the way it jumps in to the right-hander and then immediately into the change of direction for the left. But now in turn 11, keeping that tight apex as we change of direction once more. Careful not to go on the rumble strip. I don't know how the rumble strips are in this track, so avoid all curbs at any cost, just in case, just to be safe. And running it deep into 14 again will compromise our speed going into 15, but a nice upshift into second, into third. Still going to be pretty close to the Ghost, so I'll tell you what, I'm not disappointed with that. I'm quite happy. And across the line, which isn't an improvement, but we got very close to the Ghost. So these are just small baby steps that we're making right now, and this is what we need to do. Just keep on learning, keep on practicing, and we'll get there. It'll all come natural in the end. But now braking into turn 3, as mentioned earlier, nice and gentle on the brake and just gradually leaning the rider in. Really tight to the apex of turn 4. Too tight, I would say, because you want to avoid the rumble strip there. Of course, it's fine getting a knee or an elbow on the rumble strip, but getting the wheels on it should be avoided. So coming out to the left-hander for turn 5, big thing I noticed there was a little bit too eager on the acceleration. By opening the throttle early, I've ran it deeper into the corner. Got to wait, be patient, square it off, and then accelerate. So braking into turn 6, so a little bit of a hop, skip and a jump on the brakes as we go for that wider sweeping angle, and that is much better. Look at the exit we got compared to the Ghost. Brilliantly done there. That's how it was, just squaring it up, going towards the rumble strip on the right-hand side for 7, and then bringing it in. That's how we got to do it from now on, so bear that in mind for future reference. Still running my electronics as my usual settings now, as TCS on 2, anti-wheelie 3, engine brake on 4, but I do change that every now and again, and power setting 3 for obvious reasons, because we're trying to put in the fastest lap times. Braking well before that shadow there, as we now go to the left-hand side for 14, keep it in nice and tight, just barely clipping the rumble strip there with the rear tyre, and now bringing the power on. We should be improving this lap time by a significant amount. This could get us into the 135s, and it is a 135.929 for DrAce. I tell you what, I'm happy with that. That's pretty good. I noticed some good riders in the leaderboards earlier which were doing 136s and some in 135s, and I gotta say I'm happy with that. This is my, let's call it 10th lap in. I did do a few laps when I first got the game, and then I did 1 or 2 before starting this video, so let's call it around 10 laps. I'm happy with that. That's pretty good. So into the left-hand side, braking very early as we just continue to trail brake right up to the apex of turn 5 there. But make sure when you are trail braking, you're not going full front brake, because that is a recipe for disaster. Give it quite a lot of front brake, and then gradually reduce as the speed begins to decrease as well. But now braking firmly for turn 6, getting that rear tyre out, getting the rear tyre out again as well. Whoa, a little bit of a moment just to pick up the motorcycle, and that has completely compromised our exit out of turn 6. But turn 7, but I tell you what, I rather enjoyed just chucking the back end out there, and I gotta be honest with you, whether it's the updates or if I'm just getting the hang of this game, I feel pretty good and confident with throwing the rear tyre out. I do like to do it in Moto 2, and I do like to do it in MotoGP as well on MotoGP 22. So to get that feeling of the bike just getting a bit loose and squirming around is how I like to play, so I'm enjoying this now on Superbike 22. But we now go to the left-hand side and we've crashed. Oh, goodness me, too tight to the apex. So back into the pits, change of tyres, to a quick repair on the bike. Hopefully there'll be no damage now to that fantastic and beautiful looking Honda. Trying to, oh, goodness me, up onto the apex there, a little bit too tight. Another crash was imminent, but thankfully we're all right on board the motorcycle. I was going to mention that I really like the colour scheme for this Honda. It reminds me of the anniversary version of the CBR 1000RR, and also basically what Glenn Irwin's using right now in BSB. So yeah, I had to go for this one today. It's not often I would go for a custom team, but I couldn't help myself when I seen this beautiful livery. So now we're charging down the massive straight once again, as we are 0.3 of a second quicker than the previous lap, as we go sliding into turn 6, almost too much, as we go into the tightest part of the corner there for turn 7. We are still ahead, but a nice little quick upshift there. Shout out to Sergio for making that wonderful helmet, by the way. You get a good view of it from the Ghost's perspective there, but we're now into the right-hand side, slipping and sliding on the rear again. The SCX is meant to have the most grip, but we seem to be losing the grip quite a bit, but I do enjoy playing that way. So a little bit wide there into turn 11. It's going to compromise our speed, and it's certainly going to cost us in the time of this particular lap, but braking firm well before the shadows. We now go to the left-hand side, make sure not to crash. I don't fancy picking gravel out my teeth again, as we now break up the power. Looks to be another improvement, so this could be a 135.8 potentially across the line, a 135.860. Pretty good right now, and I've got to say, this track is growing on me. It's not my favourite by any way, shape or form, but there's the Ghost actually getting caught on that rumble strip. But I quite like it now. I think it's growing on me. Now, when I first played Moss, for example, in World Superbike 22, I was in awe. I gushed over that circuit. It's fantastic. This one I found intimidating, and I'm still not finding it to be my most enjoyable track, but I do think it's going to benefit my style. As mentioned earlier, as we get a bit out of shape there on the acceleration, but I do think the smooth parts of this circuit will benefit me a lot. I find it's those really tight, twisty sections that I enjoy the most in the game, and judging by online, it's the long corners that I tend to struggle with. So these corners that are tight and twisty, hard on the brakes, stop and go corners, I think that will favour me in the long run. Because I'm comparing it to the likes of Aragon. Of course, I won't spoil any results from my career mode, but you have got an Aragon video coming very soon, and it was certainly a struggle. So yeah, it's a lot different to the likes of Aragon. Reminds me a bit of Valencia, with a little bit of Chang International Circuit, a little bit of Mandalika as well. A lot of different tracks has inspired this one, I think. It's a great track, but I'm still not sure it's one of my favourites. I can't quite decide yet, as we now go to the left-hand side. Goodness me, I hung on to that as much as we could, but losing the front in the same spot again is never ideal. So back to it once more then. A second crash in about 2 laps. That's a bad habit. We need to get back to it, but let's have a look at the Ghost on the right-hand side there, getting... Oh, we missed it, but he was getting way out of shape, and speaking out of shape, so are we, by getting a rear wheel onto the rumble strip, but keeping it in nice and tight for turn 3. I do think this first sector is my most favourite part of this track. I seem to do it well, and I like the way it flows. So into the left-hand side, braking quite firm, trail braking in, a little bit of rear brake as well. Keep it in, keep it in, keep it in. Good acceleration here is paramount for a good exit. Not bad, just under 0.2 of a second quicker than our personal best of a 135.860 set a few laps ago. So now firm on the brakes into turn 6. I think we run it deep again. We have indeed. It's another mistake. These mistakes are beginning to crop in now as we try and get faster and quicker lap times. This will happen. This is going to happen. It always does. But we just got to stay focused and stay within ourselves. When you start pushing too much, you start to make a hash of things, and that's when you really begin to get frustrated. We're not going to get into that remit now, because I'm certainly not frustrated. I'm having a great time with this circuit, as a matter of fact, and I am quite curious to see how quick the AI is here. And actually, we're actually really quick on this lap time. Yes, we did have the advantage of cutting the corner into turn 7, but we're actually still quite quick. So good a small moment there on the bike as well. The Honda just wanting to kick us off. Thankfully, we held on to the Bucking Bronco disguised as a Honda CBR 1000R. So now into the left-hand side. Probably add another R in there, actually, for the CBR R, however many R's it has. But there's the Ghost getting really out of shape there on the thing. I actually hope that we don't improve this lap time. So anyone who tries to compete against my lap time will see that moment there and have a good laugh about it. But if not, at least it's put in the history books within this video. So to the left-hand side then, braking quite firm. Very wide there. That is far from ideal. And this is not going to benefit us. Yes, you could confess that you say, yeah, okay, we did get a bit further ahead of the Ghost, but a line like that will leave you wide open for attacks online, and wide open against the AI as well, because the AI don't give one. They don't give a hoot. So, yeah, don't go that wide into that corner. Lining in, straightening the bike up. Thought we could have done a better job there. Straightening the bike up. Oh! I thought we were going again. Yeah, the mistakes are really cropping in. I've got to give it a few more laps then, and then hopefully we can improve. I don't really want to end on a 1:35.8. When it's been a few laps and there's been no improvement, that's when you get a little bit nervous. So, yeah, let's stay focused and let's continue to improve. But that turn 7, you can really win or lose your lap time there. I think if you get that right, you're going to set yourself up pretty nicely for the rest of the circuit. But getting that wrong, it really messes with you. So be very, very careful into turn 7 and turn 8 respectively. Actually, turn 6 and 7 is the combination for the left-handers. But now bringing on the power across the straight, hard on the brakes, well on the shadow there. Probably could have gone a little bit later, maybe. I don't know. I think I've probably got it right. Had to brake very hard though, had to really give it everything. There's the Ghost getting caught on the rumble strip once again, as we now go gentle on the brakes and gradually lean that Honda in. The Alpine Star's elbows and knees almost touching the rumble strip as we go up by 0.4 of a second into the first sector. That is a damn decent job, if I do say so myself, as we now go into turn 5. Keeping it in nice and tight, quick upshift into second here, good exit. My gearing has not been the best since I've recently moved over to manual, but I've got to be honest, I thought it did a good job there by actually upshifting into second prematurely. But now firm on the brakes, into the left-hand side, we'll go for turn 6, nice and tight to the apex, line and square the bike up. That's exactly what we needed to do, keep it in nice and tight, quick upshift to second. Oh, this is going to be a good lap. I'm quite happy with this one. Let's keep it going, hard on the brakes before the TSO sign, as we now go really firm, and I still couldn't get the apex right on that corner. Turn 8, catching us off guard once again, but now to the right-hand side. Got to brake early here, and I didn't really get it done. Could have gone a bit tight as the apex there, and probably could have been a bit tidier overall, but still up by 0.5 of a second. This could be a fine and dandy lap if we keep it together into the toughest part, for me at least, into 14, into 15 for the left-hand side. Keep it in, quick upshift into second, and across the line we will go in a moment. It's certainly going to be an improvement. It's a 1:35.205. So there you go then, guys. There's 9 laps for you here in the circuit of San Juan Villicum. A very interesting circuit. I highly recommend you give it a try. If you want to compete against my lap times, there you go. They're all on screen right now, so you can do whatever you like with it. If you do happen to compete and beat my time, let me know in the comment section below, or even join the Discord server and let me know in there. So a quick look at the leaderboards to finish up with, and the Hondas are dominating, but a 1:35.2, I'm not disappointed with that. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. Hit the like button and consider subscribing to help me get to 5,000 subscribers before Christmas. Thanks for watching, and ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.